Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning from wherever you are watching. Welcome to Slow Motion Broadcasting for round number 10 here for XSLR. My name is Adam Thomsen. Along with me is Ron Maunz, who's also controlling the cameras tonight. And tonight we head to the USA International Speedway, not at ARCA at Charlotte as it shows on our graphic, but we are at USA International in the big block modified, and I hope you all are ready for a great night of racing. Last week at Eldora, we saw Adam Thomsen get the win, and we will hopefully see another new face or potentially a familiar face to victory lane tonight. We are already underway in qualifying. Matt Last is currently fastest as Adam Thomsen now goes top of the board. Goes quick time with the 21.42. Tyler Brown now quick time with 21.401. So quick time starting to come in here quite quickly here. But we will see. Only 3 times really posted with Tyler Brown and Adam Thomsen. Andy Kosick. Adam Thomsen doesn't seem to be improving at all. No, he does not. So he is done. Tyler Brown currently on top of the leaderboard. Matt Last in with a lap time of 22.1. Jason Greider a 23.49. Does improve just a bit, but does not move his position. J Cam, who is still not on the board quite yet. Tyler Coates, who's making a return here after a couple weeks off, is sitting in third. Here's J Cam. Again, these are the big block modifieds, which in the real world just got done with Super Dirt Car Week at Oswego. And what's the first thing J Cam does? He smashes it into the wall. And there's the 75 of Tyler Coates finishing up his qualifying, was slower on his second lap. Here is Andy Kosick, who he has put into laps already as well, just getting a little bit of extra practice time. This is a just over a half mile, isn't it right, Ron? USA International?
Yeah, round about that, and unfortunately a track that's no longer with us as well. That was a very sad fact that I learned many moons ago, the fact that the track is no longer actually even in existence. I think a Walmart is where this track used to be, sadly.
Well, J Cam, he'll come across the line now to click off his first lap. He goes fourth fastest at 21.717. J Cam last week, who's our current championship points leader, didn't even finish on the podium last week. So he is somebody who is looking to get a little bit of redemption.
That he really is, as there's Kevin Irwin jumping up to P5 a few moments ago in this qualifying session. The cheese car running pretty all right as he licks the stamp and sends it off down into 3 and 4. This is going to be a very tough race. You know, you think of where we were running 1 week ago at Eldora, and the track configuration that we have there, completely different end of the spectrum here. Very long straightaways, very tight turns. In my experience running around here in dirt oval cars, whether it be in the sprint cars, both winged and non-winged, whether it be in the dirt street stock here on iRacing, always rather tough. It feels a little bit counterintuitive with the nature of this circuit.
Well, it is. It's not a natural oval like Eldora was. Eldora was more of that natural oval type racetrack. This is more of a paperclip. It has long straightaways and narrower corners. Actually, the best comparison I can put this to is actually my home racetrack, who I work for during the summertime, the Black Hills Speedway. Just a little less banking here compared to my home racetrack, half mile as well. And you can just tell it's not as banked. There is a little bit more banking than you would say like Knoxville, which again, Knoxville is more of a natural oval compared to USA International Speedway. But there's a little bit more banking than Knoxville, so you do have a little bit of a chance of getting some good runs, but it's going to be challenging because it's just the way this track will run. you're going to see probably a lot of spread out. You cannot run this track flat out. It unless you're in a slower vehicle like a street stock, micro sprints, midgets can definitely go flat out around here. But big block modified super late model 410 sprint car, 410 non-wing sprint car. Yes. So heat 1 ready to grid up here. Let's take a look at our first heat race of the night. On the pole position, the 821 of Tyler Brown, and on his outside, the 75 of Tyler Coates. Row 2. Starting on the inside, it's the 7 of Kevin Irwin, and on his outside, the 98 of Matt Last. Final starter, the 28 of Chad Gross from Zoot Lord Racing. Top 2 go to the A feature, everybody else to the B main to determine the rest of the lineup here. Last week, Kevin Irwin on the podium in the cheese car. So it's good to see that number 7 machine in the interview area when we got all set and done. So we'll just have to see how he's looking for another big night. So here we go. Again, 2 laps, even though it is quite a big racetrack. We do 2 laps of pace laps. No, I would presume probably no cautions either, and one thing about USA International Speedway, what in the world? Okay. A little extracurricular activity. Oh. 75 went driving down. Tyler Coates. Stop it. Tyler Brown does not want to be that up close. He doesn't want to be that up close and personal with you, okay?
Yeah, that does not seem like a very good deal at the start of this race.
Well, anyway, this track used to also have an asphalt configuration as well. It's been dirt and asphalt. Obviously, on iRacing, you can race on both. But yes, there has been a dirt and asphalt configuration in real life at USA International. So that's something kind of cool to notate about this track, is that it's had a couple different uses. So here we go. Pace truck is in. We are ready to go racing. And green flag will fly, and away we go. Tyler Brown off to a great start there all by himself. And the 821 machine already out in front. Kevin Irwin looking to make his second straight A feature without having to drive through a B main. In second, with Tyler Coates hot on his heels as they go through 3 and 4 in the complete lap number 1. Tyler Brown is your race leader. Further back, Chad Gross and Matt Last going to battle here. Chad Gross sliding up the track and gets into the wall, and that's going to allow Matt Last to come on by. Now, in these heat races, I mean, the passing is going to be probably minimal unless somebody gets a bad run, gets up into the wall. But Tyler Brown out there in front, and he is extending that advantage to 1 second here, Ron. And Kevin Irwin's got a little bit of company behind him.
As we ride on board and see Tyler Coates briefly get abducted by a UFO on a couple of occasions, he is still looking to try and have a good race here today. As you can see him oh so squirrely off through 3 and 4. This is going to be the battle to talk about. The drivers a little bit farther behind. The 4 of Matt Last and Chad Gross have split up a little bit. Meanwhile, this battle for the final 2 podium spots going to be intense in the run up to the end. Irwin and Coates running effectively by themselves as Tyler Brown continues to drive off into the sunset. It looks like Kevin Irwin has really shifted into a new gear in that number 7 machine, and Coates continues to get abducted by ET.
Yeah, ET's not his friend tonight, as Kevin Irwin still in that second spot. That's the battle for the transfer between the 7. Oh, and an issue for the 821 as he goes up high. Now we got a 3-car battle as Kevin Irwin goes out in front here in heat race number 1. Number 6. Oh, Tyler Brown. Oh, and his race is all said and done. He will go to tonight's B feature. Now we got a race.
No!
And Tyler Brown just hooks Kevin Irwin. That was a hook if I've ever seen one. And Tyler Coates has an issue. Kevin Irwin goes back into second. Matt Last out in front. What has happened here in heat race number 1?
Yeah, we were thinking everything was going to be smooth, and then just all hell broke loose. What What in the world is going on here? We got Tyler Brown out of it. Chad Gross in everything. He's just been running by himself. Matt Lass has been able to jump out into the race lead. Kevin Irwin still running right there in tow. Tyler Coates, who's been battling Martians. He's also been battling chaos in this race. Is Matt Lass now on the white flag lap?
Matt Lass, who was in the back of this heat race, was battling for the 4th spot with Chad Gross not too long ago. He is leading here and looking to transfer in immediately to tonight's feature race. And guess what? Matt Lass, he does take the checkered flag. He moves on to the A feature and starts on the pole. Kevin Irwin, after getting turned by Tyler Coates, will make it in as well. Well, there we go.
One race down.
One race down, one more to go. Actually, 2 more to go. But Matt Lass is your winner with Kevin Irwin, Tyler Coates, Chad Gross, and Tyler Brown. That is the finishing order. So Matt Lass and Kevin Irwin to tonight's A feature. They don't have to race in that B feature. Let's take a look at heat race number 2. Adam Thomsen and Jake Ham is your front row. Andy Kosick, Jason Greider are row number 2. So a smaller field compared to last week. Here tonight, Ron, and kind of interesting. And to be honest, I thought you wouldn't have made it tonight, considering that the state of Pennsylvania has just been in shambles for the last couple of weeks.
Oh, when is it not an absolute shambles? That's a real question.
Well, I just know you're down bad. You're just down bad. First the Phillies, then Penn State, and then, of course, the Flyers, the Eagles losing back-to-back week, especially against the Giants.
I was actually nearly forced to apologize on a show that I was doing the other day because the producer for that is actually a Giants fan. So there was a bit during that, and in tune with the sickness I've been battling for the past week and a half that I'm still not fully past. I'm not sure if I've got the Spanish flu or something. I was just completely silent as I had my microphone muted, coughing when that graphic got popped up, and my co-commentator thought that I was self-abusing myself and even said that on the air. So it was, it's been a time to be a Philadelphia sports fan. I mean, the Flyers losing, that's fair. They haven't won anything since Gerald Ford was in office, in the wise words of Bill Burr. The Eagles, that kind of stung a little bit. Penn State, I don't really care, if I'm being completely honest. I don't really follow them too much. But the Phils, that offended me on a personal level, the Phils losing. But hey, we've got a race to talk about here.
Pace truck is up, green flag is out, and Adam Thomsen almost takes out Jake Ham off the race start. And Jake Ham has to make a very evasive maneuver just to avoid it, and almost gets in with Andy Kosick as he was spinning his tires. I wonder if tire spin is an issue here, possibly. But Adam Thomsen out in front with Jake Ham chasing behind. Obviously, Adam Thomsen, our winner last week here at XSLR, and has been a formidable force in this big block modified so far. But the real question is, who can maybe give him a run for his money? Jake Ham, take you back to season number 9. He actually won 3 of the 410 wing sprint car races over Adam Thomsen, who won the first week, but didn't win the remaining weeks after that. So kind of an interesting ordeal that we're seeing here. Jake Ham kind of struggling here in the big block modifieds. He was somebody who I was kind of expecting to maybe be more competitive last week. Obviously wasn't even on the podium. And right now he's got a 2.7 second gap to Andy Kosick, and it's a 1.2 second gap to Adam Thomsen. Now, again, I have to mention this. Adam Thompson's got that red number plate. I feel like we're showing him some bias here on the broadcast, Ron.
See, I'm trying to I'm not really sure what's the most genteel way I can put it. I'm trying to kiss his ass just enough whereby he won't come into this booth and meow, because if he has to do that again, I'm gonna have to go back to therapy, and that's gonna cost me a decent amount of money. I'll have to use the money from these shows to afford the therapy from hearing a man in the Air Force meow into my ear at night.
Your sense of sanity is not worth the bias, sir.
See, actually, I'm gonna say that's just an out and out lie. I don't have sanity in the first place. I am from Philly, after all.
I was also gonna mention that as well, and you do this, so you cannot be a sane person and do this at the same time. As Adam Thomsen just walked. White flag is out for Adam Thomsen, who's led from the green flag, and Adam Thomsen out in front here. He is going to be starting in second. As long as this results hold, he will start second in the A feature with Jake Ham. He'll start fourth. And Adam Thomsen does take the checkered flag. Jake Ham not too far behind. Andy Kosick and Jason Grider are looking at a B feature here and will have to fight for their starting position coming up next. There's the final results. That was
there we go. We're back again. Just blanked out on me.
Adam Thomsen, your heat race number 2 winner with Jake Ham in second. They will move on to the A feature. Andy Kosick, Jason Grider will be racing here this time. And we're already getting the grid lined up here. Let's take a look at the lineup. Tyler Coates and Andy Kosick, your front row. Chad Gross, Jason Grider, row 2. And Tyler Brown will round it out here. 5 cars in this B feature. This will determine the rest of the starting lineup outside of the top 4. So pace truck is up, and here we go. Run 10 laps on the board. And I would keep an eye out on that 75 car. Kind of caused a little bit of carnage there. And unfortunate there for Tyler Brown in the 821, who was very fast in the heat race. Just unfortunately got caught up and
Tyler Brown's got a case of the zoomies right behind.
Do I need to explain this to people? Doing the weaving and stuff does nothing. It does nothing in iRacing.
It gets the juices flowing.
It.
Also looks a little bit goofy on the air.
Just don't do it. All right. I see people doing it in official lobbies, and I'm just like, just stop. It doesn't warm up your tires. Tire warm up doesn't start until the green flag drop. All right, just don't. All right, this should be wide knowledge. This should be common knowledge. Just stop. All right, you're gonna wreck yourself if you do it. Okay, well, as we almost saw Tyler Brown do there.
And my lungs nearly wrecked themselves as I coughed directly in the microphone. One thing that always drives me up the wall with some series that I do, mainly the Radical SR10 official series on the iRacing channel, everybody revs the crap out of their engines. Yeah, everybody revs the crap out of their engines before a standing start, and it drives me up the wall hearing that SR10 scream in agony with that 40 EcoBoost engine in the back of it. These cars, though, they're V6, they're V8s. I love them. Anyways,
green flag, and away we go. Tyler Coates half to the race lead with nobody behind him or side by side as they go through 1 and 2. Andy Kosick is there. Tyler Brown has already moved into third. He would love to start up in the top 5 tonight. The 821 machine on our screen now. Got a little bit squirrely going through 3 and 4. That's going to allow the 28 of Chad Gross to get involved. And unfortunately, just could not find the momentum down the front straightaway to get past this 821 machine. Here comes now Tyler Brown. He's on the attack of the number 50 of Andy Kosick, taking that low side. Andy Kosick to the high side, and he may lose. Whoa. I mean, I know what that feels like. That feeling is scary. Like when your car when you come out of a corner and your car is just everywhere and you can't get it under control. You try to keep the throttle in it because generally most of the time it can just sort itself out, and everything like that. And unfortunate for him there, as Andy Kosick has now gone back to fourth. So he is looking at starting in eighth at this point, going to try and drive around the 28 machine of Chad Gross. This is the inside of the big block modifieds. You know, it's much different than most dirt cars besides like sprint cars. Oh my Lord. Holy moly.
Andy Kosick and Jason Grider both damn near took a trip into the infield care center. Oh!
Just a little bit of a nick of the wall for Chad Gross. Andy Kosick will say thank you very much. You know, a little bit about these cars. Again, these are single seaters, open wheel single seaters, but they're not like your typical modified. Typical modifieds like an A mod, a B mod, Midwest mod, X mod, Z mod, whatever modifieds out there. There's a bunch of them. They generally have they're more like a normal like stock car. You know, they got your driver's seat, and then they have a spot on their right side that, you know, could be for a passenger pretty much. So these are the most unique modifieds out there in dirt oval racing, because they are, you know, they do have that single seater vibe, open wheel kind of vibe, but they are so heavy on the front. You got to remember, these are V8 engines on the front of these suckers. So they're not the lightest things to be driving around a racetrack, as we are watching Andy Kosick, who's now into third. And Andy Kosick right now 6 seconds behind Tyler Brown and Tyler Coates, who's our race leader. 2 more laps to go here for the 75 and the 821. And Tyler Coates getting that car really pitched in. And that's the one thing about these cars. You got to pitch them in really hard to get them through the corner. They're not like a sprint car where you keep the foot down as we approach the white flag. One more time around. Tyler Coates, Tyler Brown, they're battling for the race lead, almost side by side as they come off corner number 2. It's going to be close. Tyler Brown, he might be thinking, hey, I might want some revenge here, and he's not going to get it, as Tyler Coates takes the checker flag. He'll start 5th. Tyler Brown in 2nd. He'll start 6th. Andy Kosick will start in 7th. Chad Gross in 8th. Will start 8th, and Jason Grider will be our 9th place starter in tonight's A feature.
Cut away from that in perfect time. Just we weren't going to we weren't going to note the probable hit into the inside wall. We do have a warm-up session, though, so I think we'll quickly touch on the results from the consolation race that we just saw there. We ran through them, but we'll run through them once again. Tyler Coates, your winner over Tyler Brown. All Tylers up at the top 2. Andy Kosick, Chad Gross, and Jason Grider complete your drivers in that consolation race from just a few moments ago. However, Adam, we have got ourselves with the absolutely wonderful brand new purple graphics that we've got here on this broadcast. I'm definitely not just bragging about them, because I had to do God knows how much coding between the Spec Racer Ford Weekend Warrior show a little bit earlier on this afternoon on SMB, all the way up until now, with a small little break for dinner and a quick trip out to the gas station. We do have a nice, more purpley look at the championship point standings as we head off into this round of the championship. So as we're in this quick little warm-up session with a lull in the action, Adam, you want to run through these championship points here?
Yeah, let's pull those up here. J-Cam, your points leader, 72 points right now with Adam Thomsen in 2nd. And you got to remember that there are 3 drop weeks in this, so this is going to change. Excuse me. Going to change. Dylan Bose, who's not here tonight, sitting in 3rd. Andy Kosick, who's only 3 points behind Dylan Bose. Brad Cathcart, currently in the top 5 after a couple of good races in the first part of the season. Derek Folk, who's not here tonight, sitting in 6th. Kevin Irwin, after the podium last week, is in 7th. Matt Less is in 8th, as Harrison Chandler, who has not been here since the opening night, is in 9th. And Tyler Brown rounds out the top 10. Other notable drivers, obviously, the drivers here tonight, Chad Gross in 12th, Jason Greider is in 13th, and Tyler Coates way down there at the bottom of the list in the 18th spot. So that is a look at our championship standings. J-Cam, though, a 10-point advantage, but that is, again, going to change throughout the season with the drop weeks. There are 3 drop weeks involved in these, so those points are going to change around, and we are just getting ready here to end the warm-up session. We got about 30 seconds here, Ron, and I think we're going to be in for something's going to happen in this race. I feel like we will just have to be prepared for. Obviously, last week a couple of cautions out. Again, I have to do it because I don't have to brown nose with Mr. Thomsen. Ever since Mr. Thomsen has made his return to XSLR, we have had caution. So, I mean, we went the first 3 races of the season. The first 3 caution free. And then the minute he shows up, we've had caution. You cannot tell me that he's not the common denominator there as we get for our feature here. And let's take a look at our 9-car lineup here tonight. Matt Lass is on the pole after lucking out in heat race number 1 and on his outside after driving a lonely heat race number 2, the 244 of Adam Thomsen. Kevin Irwin in his 2nd straight week on the dirt transferred into the A feature. Will start 3rd with Jake Ham, the points championship leader. Tyler Coates and Tyler Brown came through the B feature, and they will start row 3. Row 4, Andy Kosick and Chad Gross. Jason Greider, the 552, starting that 9th position here tonight, Ron.
Yeah, so 9 starters in this race, and a pretty challenging race, I feel like. As you just said, Adam is here, so the chances of having a yellow between now and the end of this 30-lap-long race are most certainly well above 0, as let's follow him on these pace laps, waiting to see what is the shoe that's going to drop here. You know, this is the final race of the first 6 weeks of the season that has been back-to-back for this championship here in XSLR, and next week we are going to be taking a week off before the series rocks up for round number 8 of this championship. So round number 7, I should say, actually. But a small little break between this week's race and the one in 2 weeks time. I feel like that gives a bit more of a sense of importance for this race. These drivers may want to try and strike while the iron is hot, so to speak. I think they're going to want to have a good result today, make sure that they can be there at the end, maybe walk away from this race with a victory. We're still in the early stages of this 20-race season, first time that XSLR has run 20 races in a single calendar. So even with that being said, we're making progress. We're shifting along from this championship, so may be imperative for some racers to enter this 1-week break with a bit of momentum on their side.
And you are exactly right. As the pace truck will get ready to pull off here, we are going to go racing for 30 laps around USA International Speedway in the big block modified. Space truck is off. Green flag flies. Great start there by Matt Lass as he goes out in front. Adam Thomsen is going to have to chase him down. And Kevin Irwin maintaining that 3rd spot as Jake Ham now falls down to 5th. That battling with Tyler Coates as they go down the back straightaway. It's still Matt Lass out in front as they go through 3 and 4. Matt Lass taking the high side. Adam Thomsen down low. He's got the run, and Adam Thomsen takes the lead of the race here on the opening lap.
Oh, he's still all over the back of him, though, is Lass as they head their way off through the turn. That was so close. As you can see, mega sideways a little bit farther in the back. I think Kevin Irwin had to hold on to that car to avoid a slide. And speaking of sliding back is Matt Lass. He's really starting to struggle at this point of the race. You can see he just got put down into 3rd now, 2 spots down from where he started in this race. Not the best of starts for Matt Lass as Thomsen looking to drive off into the sunset.
Well, Adam Thomsen almost extending his lead out to almost a second as Kevin Irwin in his in the 2nd week of the dirt oval portion of XSLR trying to make it 2 back-to-back podiums. He's currently second, but Jake Ham, who we did not talk to last week, sitting in third, has gotten by Matt Lance. Is now Tyler Brown taking that inside line. That 821 car again, very disappointing heat race after leading majority of it. He is now up into fourth. Matt Lance is dropping like a brick through the field as Tyler Coates is currently in sixth as he's having some connection problems. Now he's side by side with Matt Last. Tyler Coates is kind of the reason why Matt Last won heat race number one and why the 98, was able to start on the pole here. As now Tyler Brown in front of Jake Ham. Tyler Brown making up ground quickly up to Kevin Irwin, but not enough to make a move as we are now 6 laps in to this feature race. Again, 30 laps scheduled here, and everything so far calm, cool, and collected. Not sure if that's going to stay like that. Jake Ham, seems like he's still trying to figure out how to drive this car as quickly as you possibly can. He's just riding the bottom. He's the bottom feeder so far, but can't make up any momentum. Gets that car turned sideways. Now is alongside the 821, but the 821 put them off, and that is the result of that, and that's going to bring out our first caution.
It was only a matter of time. Only a matter of time. That's so unfortunate for the both of them. Gonna bring out the first yellow. Hey, Adam's here. It had to happen, Adam.
Yep. Mr. Thomsen is here, the wet Thomsen. And he is why we had that. Let's take a look and see what happened. It looked like Jake Ham is trying to get down to the bottom of the racetrack along with Tyler Brown. Tyler Brown, though, late to the party and just cuts off Jake Ham. And I mean, there was nowhere for Jake Ham to go at that point. And if we can get an onboard shot, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about here. Oh,
yeah, Laz had a boink into the wall as well. Anyways.
Yeah, let's see if we can get an onboard. Well, here's the drone shot of it. Here again, Jake Ham. He goes into the corner very hot. And you can see he is alongside him in the corner. And Tyler Brown is not cleared down to the bottom, ends up driving down the racetrack and gets right into him, causing that incident. One of the things about dirt track racing, especially in these modifieds, is that you got to have more spatial awareness as we're seeing the replay of the Tyler Coates and Matt Last incident, and doesn't look like too much damage. No harm, no foul there. But yeah, Jake Ham, unfortunately, I mean, there was nowhere for him to go. He was clear to the bottom of the racetrack. He was pretty much pitched as sideways as you can go without losing the race car. And Brown just had nowhere he could go. He just drove down the track. And unfortunately for Tyler Brown and Jake Ham, they will have to restart in the back. But guess what? We're going to get a Kevin Irwin front row here on a double file restart run. And this could get exciting because I feel like Kevin Irwin, you know, he may not be the fastest guy out there, but he sure is trying. And he's been getting some really good results here on the dirt.
Oh, yeah, Kevin Irwin, always a really, really good driver to follow here in XSLR. Put in a good drive last time out, and looking to try and give Adam a bit of a headache here tonight. As speaking of Adam, I want to ask you, Adam, what your thoughts are on Adam's new nickname on the screen right above his name tag. Can you see that?
The Harbinger of Chaos. Yep, I agree. We're good. Yep, that is his nickname for here on out. Here we go. Pace truck will pull in this time. We're going to go back to racing, and we still got multiple laps. What in the world? Adam Thomsen is becoming a damn wrecking ball on these restarts. Tyler Coates trying to get up down the inside of the 7 of Kevin Irwin. Kevin Irwin, though, fights it off. He maintains that second down the back straightaway into 3 and 4, gets back down to the bottom of the racetrack. I swear to God, Adam Thomsen, I mean, he's getting like massive wheel spin or something, because like that's the second time I've seen him almost take another competitor out.
as we saw Kevin Irwin have a big sideways snap heading out of turn number 2 just a few moments ago. I'm going to load up a replay here because Thomsen, I mean, everybody pretty much got spooked here. Yeah, you can see that's Coates getting abducted by a UFO again, but pretty much all in unison, everybody just... Not sure how in the world I could describe. We're going to load up another replay, this time at half speed, and you'll be able to see what I was talking about here as they came back to grab the restart. Pretty much, I mean, he nearly jumped and killed Kevin Irwin, and it looked like, one thing I love about the dirt cars, whenever they restart a race, it just looks like they get scared. It looks like they jump out of their own skin somewhat. It's like the chassis is trying to escape the bodywork.
Well, you try and go from 0 to 100 in 1.2 seconds, Ron.
I used to drive a shifter cart that was so violent the tires would just freeze the rear axle. Trust me, I know.
You know, these are 800 horsepower race cars. What do you expect?
Oh God!
But
I was gonna share some stories from my karting days since right as this show's going on, promo time, the Liberty Bell iRacing League, organized by the people of the Philly region SCCA, the people that I used to race with for many, many moons. It's actually going on as this show's going on, so once this broadcast is done, you can take a look at that other show, MX5's, running out of Lime Rock at the current moment. But anyways, before I get lost up in the promos and talking about my own karting days, we've still got a race to talk about here at USA.
well, J Cam, who started last on this restart, has driven up already into the top 5. He would love a podium tonight to kind of forget about what happened to him last week. And, oh, great shot there. See J Cam coming through 3 and 4 now, and J Cam now into 4th, going to chase down the 75. And these race cars in real life just wrapped up a very big week at Oswego. And we got a caution, and that's going to be, who is that? Is that Matt Lass? Yeah, that's Matt Lass, unfortunately, in turn 2.
Oh.
But around.
Nearly followed him.
See what happened here. Matt Last dives into the corner and got a little bit of assistance, but I mean, he was way too hot into the corner, got it so sideways, and Tyler Brown just finished the job.
Phew. And Jason Grider with a wild ride and all that. Really right on board.
What do you expect from Jason Grider, honestly? Whee! Oh.
Yeah, JG won. We could just call him the official JG since Jason Green hasn't showed up in one of these races in quite some time. He's too busy running in pretty much every single road car you can imagine that he doesn't want to run off into these dirt oval cars. Which to that I say, Mr. JG2, why? Dirt oval is fun. I know a lot more about road course stuff than dirt stuff, but I love dirt oval because it's fun.
See, here's the thing. And this is a controversial opinion, and y'all can sue me later. Dirt track oval racing is by far the most entertaining and best form of motorsports currently out there. You can quote me, but you will not find anything better than this. You will not find anything better than dirt oval racing. Just look at this weekend at Super Dirt Car Week at Oswego. Look at the late model shows that happened over the weekend. The 410 Wing Sprint Car Tours and stuff. Of course, High Limit was at Lakeside. And you had World of Outlaw Sprint Cars at New Egypt. You cannot find anything better than racing on dirt. Formula One, not even close. I'm sorry. I know there's a lot of Formula One shags out there. I know there's a lot of IndyCar shags out there. I know there's a lot of NASCAR shags out there like myself. Dirt oval racing. If you want to see the best form of racing out there, this is where it's at. And I'm very big about it. I love it. It's the greatest. You cannot tell me I'm wrong. Here we go. Pace truck is off. We are back racing here once again, past the halfway point. And away we go. Adam Thomsen once again out to the race. Late, almost 3 wide for the second spot. Kevin Irwin got shoved out of the way as he falls back now down to 4th as Jake Ham takes advantage and he moves himself into 3rd. Now is on the charge against the 75, but here comes Kevin Irwin back down the inside, trying to get by Jake Ham. Almost turned into an opera singer there with Jake Ham having to navigate his way through and hope to God does not get involved with Kevin Irwin. So we look at the drone cam here on slow motion broadcasting. You can just see Jake Ham. He's sticking out in front of Kevin Irwin. He's trying everything he can to get to this inside tire of Jake Ham, but it's not going to be enough as he's losing much time, a lot of time as they go down the front straightaway into turns 1 and 2. Now our attention turns to Jake Ham as he's trying to chase down this 75, but Adam Thomsen out in front by just over 1 second here. And Tyler Coates disappearing from our screens, getting abducted by ET. ET must be doing some form of experiments on him because he keeps reappearing out of nowhere. And Adam Thomsen, his lead is starting to dwindle a little bit here as it was just over a second last time. Now it's down to 0.8 of a second. A little bit of mistake there, you would have to think, for the 244 machine. Now, 10 laps to go, lap 21 of 30. And Adam Thomsen, and there's a great view, and you can hear these engines and just what it takes. You know, you hit a bump and you hear that, yeah. You know, that's, and you can see the shocks of the rear left tire here is how it's just bouncing up and down, and you hear it with the motor and the undulation of that. Adam Thomsen still out in front though, and starting to pull back away from Tyler Coates. Jake Ham right now, he's just hoping for a podium finish at this point. He would love a race win, but right now he'll settle for a podium if he has to. Unfortunate though for Kevin Irwin as he's now being chased down by the 821 of Tyler Brown. Tyler Brown, he is right there, almost gets his front bumper into the rear bumper of Kevin Irwin. And these are the types of cars you got to be a little bit patient. Now Tyler Brown with an opportunity gets side by side, almost right there, going down into 1 and 2.
Oh, no! Oh, that could have ended in disaster. It didn't, though, and that's a good thing. Tyler Brown, though, I can't even say playing with fire at this point. He's playing with a firing squad. This is insane stuff that we're seeing from him. Let's run on board with him as he heads his way off through 1 and 2. You can just see that car, the cheese car, right in front, hearing that shoppiness as he gooses the throttle, heading out onto the back straightaway, down into 3 and 4. He's gonna go. It is a bumpy racetrack, this. I remember, I say a couple of seasons ago, a couple of years ago at this point here on iRacing, this track was probably the bumpiest. The dirt version of USA International Speedway was so incredibly choppy that I think I remember driving a 410 wing sprint car here one time, and I think I had all but one tire off the ground heading down the start finish straightaway, not even turning, just hitting the bumps. It was just, and then next thing you know, you'd have to snap it off into a corner.
Well, 4 laps to go here. Adam Thomsen out in front of Tyler Coates. The gap hasn't really expanded. Well, now it has. To 1.3 seconds, and Tyler Coates, he'll just be happy with a second place run here if need be, as we now have 3 laps remaining. And we got a caution late in this one, and it looks like Chad Gross is the victim.
And now the turntables. Let's take a look at the replay to see what happened to Chad Gross. You can see him running all by his lonesome, blown by the camera down into 3 and 4, checks up midway through it and just slides and grinds to a halt. And avoiding that by a matter of inches was Andy Kosick, who came in barreling like a bad half hell and all of that. Let's actually ride on board and follow his perspective. Yee, Jackson.
Yeah, it's never fun when you see a car completely sideways and spinning right in front of you where The options are very, very limited at that point, and luckily, Kostic was low enough on the racetrack he could avoid it. As now we get ready for yet another restart, but a single final restart.
It's gonna be a green, white, checkered, I think.
Green, white, checker, mother.
No matter what it's gonna be, it's always gonna be a green, white, checkered. I should commentate one of these races one day with my full-on Southern accent, because despite being a resident of the city of Philadelphia for all 20 years that I've been on planet Earth, I can somehow nail a very good country accent. Don't ask me why. I have genuinely no idea.
Listen here, buddy. You can't beat a country accent unless you've been in the country. All right? You're from the big city, you city slicker. You don't need to talk like a Southerner. You don't know what you're doing.
See, my problem with all that is, despite the fact that I've lived in the city of Philadelphia for a vast majority of my life, I have occasionally gone out on trips into what I would call the country, going down to the Midwest, driving through the middle of absolutely nowhere. You ever been through I-80, going through Iowa? All you see is dust. It's 50% dust and 50% bowl out there. It just absolutely nothing going on there.
See, no. Just stop. Just stop. Here we go. We're about to go racing here. We got 2 laps to go. With Adam Thomsen, your race leader, the pace truck, will come in here this time. Adam Thomsen and Tyler Coates out in front. Jake Ham trying to get his first win on the dirt here in season number 10 of XSLR. Green flag will fly. And it's a pile of what in the world?
Tyler Coates, I think, just got the ramp treatment from Jake Ham. Jake Ham just drove underneath them. That's exactly what happened there. I never in my life. You know, these are open wheel cars, so you can do that. As they crash big time a little bit farther behind, that's Andy Kostic around Jason Grider slow. What the hell happened there? We've got ourselves another restart.
I can tell you what happened there. Adam Thomsen was asleep at the wheel. He was asleep at the wheel and just look at all the pumping and banging.
Oh,
just absolute carnage. Kevin Irwin.
Chad Gross. Oh, you can see that draw with Kostic right in front. Chad Gross turning that big block modified into a fucking... Ooh. You heard nothing. Turning that into a damn monster truck as he headed his way down in there.
I apologize for Ron's comments there.
Well, that's number 3 of me ever doing that. Anyways.
I apologize for that, folks. Ron will be muted for the rest of the night.
You know, that's a downside of me doing the country accent. Eventually it just slips out after a while.
Well, see, you can see there what ends up happening. Adam Thomsen, he was put all the way to the green flag. And then finally the green flag came out, and then his foot just never went down on the throttle, okay? Throttle's on the right. Green means go. It means smash the throttle. And you did not do that, sir. And for Jake Ham, he got out of that very lucky, because that could have been absolutely disastrous for that number 13 car. Of course, that number 75 car probably got the worst end of the stick on that one. So he is going to be restarting in third as the pace truck lights are out. And that beautiful Chevy truck out there. It's not a Ford, it's a Chevy. Nobody likes to drive a Ford, I promise you that much. Here we go. We're getting ready to go back racing here as they go through turns 1 and 2. Single file restart. And again, this will be a green white checker situation. Adam Thomsen out in front with Jake Ham in second. Tyler Coates in the third spot. Tyler Brown, who's had kind of an interesting day, has already driven himself back up into the top 4. Jason Grider, who has also had a very interesting day, in the top 5. So here we go. Pace truck will be pulling off here in just a moment. And that 244 machine getting ready to go green. Don't stack up the field this time, 244. And he almost does it again. Okay, that time he did it on purpose and almost took out Jake Ham, his championship rival, as Jake Ham able to get that car settled down. He takes that second spot away from Tyler Coates once again. Tyler Coates really wanted it as Adam Thomsen took the white flag one more time around here. Adam Thomsen through 3 and 4, and Mr. Thomsen, the 244 machine, the wet Thomsen, he'll take the feature win here around USA International Speedway. Jake Ham in second, Tyler Coach in third. And then, of course, you got Tyler Brown. Kevin Irwin made it all the way back up to the top 5. Jason Grider must have had a very big incident because he was in that top 5 and he fell all the way back like an anchor. And he is going to finish in that 8th spot. Matt Last, Chad Gross 6 and 7. Andy Kosick, who went into the pits, will finish in 9th. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen, a long race at USA International. Some might say even the longest in the world. You could have seen right there for 30 laps. But there's your feature winner right there. And I guarantee you, we got some questions for him. We're going to have to put him in the interrogation room for what we just witnessed with him right there. Jake Ham coming home to second, though, so he's going to be on the podium for the first time on the dirt. And, of course, Tyler Coates, very interesting day for him. He'll finish in third. And let's take a look at the final results of those are oh, no, never mind. We got to see the shenanigans here at XSLR. And, oh, yeah. There we go. Got to have a demolition derby, too, at a dirt track.
Yeah,
if you don't have bugs.
We're going to rewind this back a little bit. I got a good camera angle for this.
Oh, well, here we go. This is going to get real interesting. I've always said, if you don't come back from a racetrack without any bumps or scratches on the race car, you didn't really race. You just drove. All right, let's take a look. All right, I want to see this camera angle that you got set up for us, Ron. And here we go. Off to the races, and just like what William Byron did today to Todd Dillon in today's NASCAR race. Just exactly like that.
Man, that was trippy.
that was trippy. All right, let's take a look at the final results here before we get our interviews here going.
Bam. Fill load. Bam, there we go.
So Adam Thomsen wins back-to-back weeks here on the dirt in the big block modifieds with Jake Ham, who gets his first podium on the dirt in our points championship. Later, Tyler Coates in third, Tyler Brown in fourth. Kevin Irwin makes it a top 5 after a very, I would say, a roller coaster of a race. Then you got Matt Last, Chad Gross, and Jason Grider, and Andy Kosick, who round out this grid here tonight. And it looks like we already got some people in the interview waiting area. And of course, it's our feature winner, and we're gonna have some words with him. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out what in the world he was doing in those last couple of restarts. Adam Thomsen, our feature winner here tonight. Mr. Thomsen, you caused some carnage there. All right, I'm going to blame that first caution on you. You have any comments for those last 2 restarts?
No, I don't. I held the pace car speed, 40 miles an hour.
That was not pace car speed coming to the green. I'm sorry.
Okay, all right. Yeah, we'll look at it. I got told I was brake checking, but yeah, gonna have to look at some replay stuff. There was people blaming me for that, but I mean, I held it the best I could. I kept getting run into. Someone behind me kept trying to jump those starts, thinking I was gonna go, and that's what caused some of those yellows. So yeah, we definitely got to look at those, to say the least. It hasn't been the happiest in the chat. I can tell you that much.
Well, I can imagine why. There was a little bit of carnage. It started off in heat race number 1.
I just realized why you're talking like this. Why are you talking like this, Adam?
We developed southern accents midway through the show, and I dropped my 3rd F-bomb ever on the air.
Oh, hell yeah, Ron. I'm happy for you, brother.
I'm not happy for my pay deduction.
he he was wanting to do a competition, and I think I've won this competition.
I think you got that one won.
So here's the thing: you won 2 back-to-back weeks on the dirt, and ever since your return, obviously, it has not gone well in terms of the caution department. But you held your cool. Just talk about your race, just from leading out in front.
Well, let me tell you what. Starting there in heat number 2, the track was a little bit more worn in than it is in heat number 1, so I was definitely not used to starting there in heat number 2. But we got it done. But Matt Lass, congrats to him. Looks like there was a bit of hullabaloo there in heat number 1. Lots of people wrecking. Sounds like Tyler Brown looked down, and that's why he did not take heat number 1 win. But Matt Lass started there on the low line. I started on the high line. I said boogity boogie boogie when we went green, but he also said boogity boogity boogity, and he got me there for the first couple laps. But I got on that low line, got past him, and then it was just basically just trying to keep it going, man. You know, just trying to hold my line. Got a little bit bumpy, especially towards the end of the race, man. Those bumps were whom, whom, whom going into turn 1. That was real rough, but we got through it. I had a few, as you know, late race restarts that we're going to have to look at. But other than that, it was a good race. I know there was some stuff going on behind me, and I was hoping that they would start racing each other and not race me, and that's what happened. I just drove right off there in that beautiful Florida sunset.
Well, congratulations, sir, and we'll not see you next week as we're on a break, but we'll see you the week after that.
Yeah, thanks, man. Oh, also, how'd your darts go?
Oh, I sucked. It's okay though. I'm just learning still.
Okay.
I'm brand new to steel tips, so I'm still getting the quirks out. I got a new set of darts coming in the mail on Tuesday.
Good. All right. Well, have a good, beautiful week off, and well, I wouldn't say I love you guys because that's not really Southern, but you guys are doing great things up here. Ron, Sis Boom Ball. Bye bye.
Scott the sound made fiddlesticks.
All right, we'll drop the Southern accents for now. We're a professional organization around here.
Oh, Josh is gonna have a panic attack after seeing this show.
We
like to have a good time.
We like to have fun on Sundays, all right? It's the last day of the weekend. You know, it's not like it's an American Muscle Series or any of the other broadcasts. This is XSLR. We like to have fun. But we're going to bring in Jake Ham, our second place finisher here. Jake, you're on the podium this weekend, and I think you had probably one of the more roller coaster of days. Obviously restarted, you got involved with an incident, went to the back of the pack, and drove your way back forward and came home second.
Wait, man, I tell you what, that race, that was a good one. I feel like I got bumped on Bronco real good. You know, I'm going to have to go get checked out by a doctor. But I feel like I ran real good tonight. And I want to thank everybody for allowing me this opportunity. Thank you.
Oh, my God. We were trying to be professional. Okay.
Oh, that was golden. Oh,
thank you, Jake, for that. Talk about those last 2 restarts, because obviously you could have been a victim in one of them. The other one, you could have made the race leader a victim in one of them, it seemed like.
I tell you what, that guy that was behind me, that is like a rattlesnake jumped up and bit me, you know. And I tell you what, Adam, he a lucky guy. You know, I race a real good, clean race with him, I feel like. And then that Coatsy guy behind me, man, it's just like he had to touch my rear end. It's like he wanted to touch my horse and get up on that thing and ride it with me to the end, you know. And I'll tell you what, coming in second, I feel very fortunate after that bumpy roller coaster ride there. Got into Tyler Brown at the beginning, and I feel very bad for that. That's why I just stopped and just sat there next to him, so that way him and I could just kind of reflect on the moment a little bit, you know. So yeah, all in all, not too bad.
I'm really trying not to start crying from laughing so hard, allowing you to answer these questions. But second place finish, obviously extending that championship lead. We get a week off. We see you in a couple of weeks. And is there anybody you would like to thank getting you this podium?
Yeah, I'd like to thank all my fans out there, everybody that traveled in the covered wagons that ride their horses out and see us get around and race these amazing automobiles tonight. And just the opportunity to be here is a fantastic. Bless America, bless George Washington for allowing us this opportunity. And Adam Thomsen for hosting, Slow Motion Broadcasting for dropping the F-bombs during the broadcast, and then all my friends and family that came out to watch. I appreciate it.
Well, Jake, thank you so much for joining us here. Congratulations on a podium finish, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
I appreciate it. Adam Thomsen with an EN.
Thank you. Okay, all right. Just I need a moment. I need a moment to compose myself here, Ron.
I'll go through the upcoming broadcasts for you. Does that sound like a plan?
Please do.
Yeah, so let's go through all the stuff that we have coming up here on Slow Motion Broadcasting. Coming up this upcoming Tuesday, we have got a double feature with the American Muscle Series running their second to last round of the championship, along with SRG F4 action at Circuit of the Americas. I'll be producing that show with slightly less country accent ladled F-bombs during that broadcast. SRG F3 going to be at the Red Bull Ring, and later on this week, this upcoming weekend, in fact, we have got the regular old Weekend Warriors action with the Formula Vs running at Oschersleben, the FF 1600s running at Road Atlanta, and the Spec Racer Fords running at Watkins Glen. And of course, next time out here in XSLR, not going to be next week, it's going to be the week after here on Slow Motion Broadcasting as we continue on with the Dirt campaign here in this second part of what is going to be an absolutely amazing season here for XSLR in Season 10. We're going to be taking the quick little 1 week break and then bracing ourselves for the 7th round of this championship that is going to be at a track that I cannot remember, and I would try and pull it up. If I try and list up the show for next time out, I would end up taking this show out. But a lot of stuff to look forward to here on Slow Motion Broadcasting, and we like to have a good time here on Slow Motion Broadcasting. That is for darn sure. We've had a heck of a lot of fun. I will, professional sakes, apologize for my language a little bit earlier on in this show, but we like to have a good time. We certainly had a good time here tonight, Adam, and I think that's probably the hardest that we have ever laughed in our entire broadcasting careers, respectively.
Yeah, no, of course, if you enjoy a very fun and awesome broadcast, make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube, trying to get ourselves to 5,000 subscribers. So make sure you click on that and the notification bell so you know when we go live. And then, of course, hit that like button on this broadcast just so you can tell your friends, hey, Sunday nights on Slow Motion Broadcasting is where you got to be if you want a good time. Our next race, of course, here at XSLR, as Ron mentioned, who he couldn't remember the track at, is going to be at Lanier in 2 weeks' time. So we got a couple more races on the dirt oval, and then we head over to the motocross tracks, or excuse me, rallycross tracks. So, well, Ron, we laughed, we cried, laughed and cried at the same time, and somehow managed to still have to contemplate life after this race at XSLR. And of course, again, we're off for next week. So thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. Again, I apologize for my co-commentators language earlier, and of course how this broadcast turned into somehow a southern accent contest, even though we're all from the north. So my name is Adam Thomsen. For Ron Maunz and everyone here at Slow Motion Broadcasting, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you 2 weeks here from Lanier.